Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Friday. It's December the 12th. This will be our chart lesson for today. And just a reminder, this will probably be one of my last chart lessons for till the after the first of the year. I normally take this last week or two off. Um, I may come in for a day or two next week. Who knows? I mean, the price action is really good. Look at this movement again today. Um, Lots of movement here, lots of opportunity to make some money. So if I get bored, I may come in if we're still getting some movement like this. If it slows down, so if you see a chart lesson, don't be surprised. But if you don't see one, you'll know that I'm on vacation and probably only coming in just to take care of business, any kind of emergencies, things like that. As far as email goes and stuff like that, I'll probably be a little slower answering me emails unless it's somebody has an emergency and needs something important. Obviously, I'll answer that, but just general questions and things, I'll probably be a little slower on those. So, but anyway, if I don't do another video between now and the end of the year, I hope everybody has a great holiday season, a Merry Christmas, and that the new year brings you um, everything you're looking for, and that especially success in trading, that type of stuff. So, but anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the trade. Show you what I saw today. When I came in, we were really in this little trading range, but notice how it's making higher lows. Obvious trend line right there, real easy to find. So we were at an upward bias. Normally, I wouldn't like taking a short here, but there's a nice trap, and this was a good trade right here. I was just looking to get a scalp out of it. It turned out to get a whole lot more. This trade right here made me some really good money just by itself. And then we were looking for a retest, couldn't get it. We turned down, so you draw your trend line off those first couple of swings, and off it goes. You get your break here. You got one moving up. You get your break, a couple of legs up to a double top, a little reversal pattern, and then you're headed down for your retest of these lows here. And it's real. I mean, the price action has just been really good. And I did move to the March contract today, as you can see up here. Uh, but lots of volume, lots of movement, and everything is just real straightforward. I mean, there's not a lot of surprises. There are some shorter term trend lines in here too, so you need to be drawing them. This one worked down. You got the break, two legs to a new low, and then it kind of corrected and went higher. And you got your trend channel working up. You get an overshoot here, your break, which is your equal overshoot on the other side. A couple legs up to a new high. One more attempt to go higher that fails, and it turns down. So everything was real straightforward today. No real surprises. So this is some good price action. And this is the kind of movement you like to see, and with everything being really standard and kind of following the patterns that we look for and like to see. So let me back out, make it a little bigger, and we'll talk about the trades. First trade I saw after I came in was right here. You could get your trend line off these first couple of swings here. I had a flat one across here too, but you can see each one of these is a little higher. Um, this is this is really kind of a form of a second entry. Notice the high there, it pulls back, it tries to go higher again, it pulls back, and then it goes higher. So I like that one for on a smaller chart. You'd probably see a second entry long right there. And this is like also like a little double bottom pullback right here. Several different reasons I liked going long. I thought it would probably go higher here than it did, but it turns back down. And then you get almost the same thing again. It's not there's no break higher there, but this is like a second entry um, long right here. You got the move down, the little correction, the move down, and then it goes higher again. But notice this too. There's a break lower there, then you try to go higher, and there's higher lows, and the break lower again. So it's like a failed second entry short as well, and that's the main reason I liked it. But again, it bounces right off that trend line. It's not a perfect setup bar either, or signal bar. This is really your signal bar, and this is kind of a little inside bar. So when that one ended and it broke higher, I like that to the upside. and then you get your break here, and it bounces right off what looks like a midline there. And again, it's the same. It's a little repeat pattern. Again, you don't get the actual breaks, but it moves down, up, down, and then goes higher. And you're looking for a measured move off this first. And actually, at that point, I had this a little higher. So I was really looking for this to go higher than that. Once it turned down a couple of times, I readjusted this and moved this down to here. And so when it goes higher right there, you're looking for, you're looking for prices to go to this point. An equal, I guess what I'm trying to say is you're looking for it to make an equal move that's similar to this low half. And if you do that, then it gets you right where we touched and it turns down. I thought we'd go there here, but then you get that same little pattern again. It's two legs down, but this time you get a little trap here too. This is not a very good signal bar. This one was. It didn't break higher than that, and it turns down. It goes out the low side, and the next thing you know, it's going higher. So that's a second entry there. First entry, pull back, and so that's like a second entry coming off the highs. So I like that, and you did get your close outside your little channel here, and you moved to a new low as well. So that bar served its several purposes, and off it goes to the upside. And you don't really get another chance to enter this one. It just takes off and goes on up there, and then we shoot straight down. Look how it goes through the EMA, comes back through the midline too, comes back, turns back down, and it tries to go higher, and then it comes back and makes another little second entry long. So you got that trap, and so, but that's also a second entry short, and you're looking for prices to come to this other side. Normally, I don't really like counter trend trading because there's no break of this channel yet. But the thing is, this is not a very strong channel, and it almost looks like a trading range. You could be setting this up to be a trading range kind of day. And the fact that there's a trap and the trend line is down here, I like this one. There's plenty of room to get out. It's a little small bar too, so it's a real low risk kind of entry if you're wrong. And it actually broke lower and tried to trade higher, and I thought, yeah, they done trapped me to the downside. And but then and I'll be honest with you, I kind of went in pretty strong here because I was so confident this was going lower. And then I thought to myself, when this started trading back up, I thought they just trapped me. They tricked me into adding on, and the next thing you know, it's racing down. And like I said, you don't expect it to necessarily shoot down like that. I was just looking for it to come to the trend line, but it just takes right on off. And this turned out to be a really good trade. You can make a day's wages on a single trade like that, depending on how you trade it. And then we get the little, and that's the first break of this channel. So you're looking for a retest. So you get a first entry, and then it turns back down. You get a little second entry short right there, and it reverses and goes right out the top, all in one bar. Just go to stop right there. I like that one with a stop. Quick, easy scalp. It pulls back, gives you a failed second entry short, so I liked entering there. When it got hung up there, you might have gotten shaken out of this one, but if you just held on, and then it gives you your little, notice how it's a little second entry short that fails there and turns up. And you're looking at this point, you don't have the lower channel. You're just looking for it to go higher and for a retest of this high, and it takes on off. So it turns out to be a good trade. I wouldn't have entered again here, but when this thing turned down and then went back up again, and you got that little failure down there twice, it's like a double test rule of this low. It was pretty obvious we were going higher then, so just jump in there. And if you're already in, you could add on there. So just in these three little trades right here, you could make your entire day. You didn't really want to go short here. This is a little bit, this does look a little bit like a trading range, but guess what this is? This is a similar pattern to this. Look how it's all the highs are lower. Look how, I'm sorry, all the lows are higher. This is just a little smaller pattern. It's like a repeat pattern. And look what it did over here. So you're thinking it'll do the same thing, and it does give you a nice little move, although it doesn't take off like this one did. It still gives you a quick, easy move with a scalp plus some. So it's just a repeat pattern of this. And watch those repeat patterns. If something works once, it's likely to work again. You can't go short here. You don't really, and then you get a second. You got to wait on a second entry or some kind of trap because you're looking for a newer high here, and we just didn't get it really for whatever reason. So um, the downward sell-off is just too strong, and so you got to wait on a second entry or something different. Look how bearish that is. It makes a new low, lower than all those. It pulls back to the EMA. It's really tempting to enter here, but I think you're taking a big chance. You got to kind of wait on a breakout pullback short or something like that, and you get that right here. But not only that, notice that new high, first entry pullback. That's 2 legs down, so that's a failed second entry long, and it is a breakout pullback. And that's where you look how bearish that is. That's where you want to enter and look at it go. And you're looking for a move that looks similar to that. And so you're looking for prices to come to here. But if you drew that trend line and you drug this down, you probably would have had it right in here at that point because that's where I had mine. And you're looking at plenty of room. But when it went on down, I played around with this a little more. And later on, it was even more obvious. But early on, it was a little harder to find. But that's just a midpoint, and that's the retest of that as well. And if you move your line down the next place, then it's going all the way to here. But at that point, I was just looking for it to come here. And again, you get a nice surprise and look at it go. And this is a breakout pullback short from this area across here. It's also a failed second entry long, your new high, pullback first entry, pullback second entry, it fails. Look how bearish that bar is. Great setup. And then you bounce first entry, pullback second entry. Okay, I had a slight interruption. I think we were talking about this trade, but it's just a second entry short in a big downtrend here. And this is basically a double bottom, and this is a breakout pullback again, and it's like a double test of this area. You tested it twice, and it fails, and it goes down, and then it comes back yet one more time, and fails. And look how bearish that is. Just jump in right there, and off it goes. Turns out to be another big one. Then you get another two-legged pullback, a second entry right off that trend line right there, and if you didn't like that one, then you get another second entry counting off the highs. First entry, pullback, second entry, and look how bearish the bar. I mean, all these signal bars, at least on my chart, are beautiful too. And off it goes. And you get a new low right in there. And then you kind of just hung up here. It bounces off that EMA. I wouldn't be going short in here, even though this worked out. I wouldn't be going, long in here. And you've already moved down a pretty good bit, so there's no real short there. You never get a second entry. It tries to give you one here, and it never does. And that's the thing. If you just wait and be patient, the market will take you where it's wanting to go. And there's a second entry short right there. That's your first break. You probably could have taken this trade if you wanted. I didn't mark it because even though you're looking for a new low, we didn't have this break here, and you had this overshoot, so there's a very good chance you're going to get a break in here. But, I'm going to go ahead and make that one green because it's, this thing has been really bearish. And so it wouldn't have been necessarily a bad trade. But it's a big bar, and everything's above the EMA, so if you get caught, there's a good chance you could get caught there. And you see it did reverse, just what you were expecting it to do, but you would have got a scalp out of that beforehand. And you are looking for a new low because it's the first break of this. But you got to be patient and wait, and you hadn't had a break yet. So I just think it's really risky going short right there. And then it does get the break. It pulls back, and it breaks lower. Big bearish bar, it breaks lower, fails, and turns out the upside. Just go long right there. You're looking for a new high. It's really close to these highs, but with it bouncing that many times and right off the EMA again, you figure this thing's going to at least run up, back up to the upper side of the channel, and actually it overshoots it again. Again, it turns out to be a much bigger or better trade than you even suspect. But now you got a break and two legs up, so I don't think you want to risk any of these. And in fact, you get a long trap right there. Look at that high, pull back first entry, pull back. That's a failed second entry long. And you're looking for a reversal pattern to happen. So now I like that one I actually like this one to the short side because of the double top and the big bearish bar. But you get the failed second entry right there. You can't really see that, but it breaks higher, turns down, and off to the races it goes again. And then the last trade I marked, there's actually a failed, um, now that's not really a double top. So you could really, that looks close enough to being a failed second entry long right there that you could have gone short even right there. I'm going to go ahead and mark it, and I'm going to mark it in red because that's, I mean, if a pattern looks really close to acting, it's probably going to act just like the pattern it is, and especially if it's in the right context, which that is. And then you get a little two-legged pullback right here, turns down, gives you a big bearish bar right off that trend line. Just go short there. And that was the last one I marked. Look at that trade. You had to ride it out here, but look at that. I mean, one contract here. If you don't scalp out, if you're just trying to get one runner, I mean, that trade right there, just the bottom files out over right into the close. Doesn't get any better than that. So, but that's what I saw today. Some really, and actually, once this went lower, right here, you would be thinking maybe a measured leg right there, and you can see that got you down to here, which is pretty close to the bottom. Okay, so sorry, I had another quick interruption there. So yeah, pretty much that gets you into the end of the day, and that's right around the 2 o'clock hour, and we normally won't mark any trades after 2:30. 2:30 is really my drop dead cutoff time. I mean, I normally don't trade much after even noon time anymore. But if you get a good day like this, you might want to stay with it. And you may not be able to trade early, so you have to trade the afternoons. But my experience is it's most of your best movement is from the open till about 10:30 or 11. Um, and then the market kind of goes into a lull. And then if it does pick back up in the afternoon, it can be a little more unpredictable. The price action is still accurate, but you may get more traps and um, more reversals and things like that. So I just think to me, and it may be just a personal thing, but to me it just seems like it's more straightforward from from maybe 6:37 a.m. Central Standard Time through just prior to lunch Central Standard Time. So that's my main trading window that I try to do most of my trading. And depending, lately my trading's been sporadic because of my personal things that are going on with my mother, trying to help my mother since the passing of my father and so forth. So, but yeah, been a good trading week really. Some really good movement. It's been a good month, especially for November and December. It's been some really good trading. So, but I'm going to wrap it up for the day, and maybe even for the year. We'll just have to play it by ear. But just remember, if you don't see any chart lessons, you'll know why. So it means I'm on vacation and taking a mental break from trading. You need to do that. So um, it's amazing how sometimes you take a break and you come back and everything looks so clear. At least it does that for me, getting that mental break. I usually do really good the first few days I come back from a vacation. It's usually some of my best trading. It just seems so clear after taking a break and getting away from it from a little while. And I mean, because this really does get boring after a while. I know that when you're a new trader, it feels real exciting and fun, and you get that. But if you're feeling that, you're going out. That's the emotional part of it that will really trip you up in trading. When it starts to get boring, and it doesn't seems so exciting to win, or it doesn't hurt you so bad to lose anymore, then you know you're getting close if you're not there, because that's a good sign. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.